Jungkook, I need to go home, the boy repeats, as if spellbound, and touches the door handle when he suddenly feels Taehyung grab his elbow again. Jungkook, I'm talking to you. I need to go home, sir. I need to go home, he continues, panting as if he's about to cry. Baby, come on. Taehyung tries to calm his voice so as not to scare Jungkook, and carefully approaches from behind, now holding the boy's shoulders with both of his hands. Come on, what happened? I need to go home, Jungkook sobs, unable to stand it anymore, and the man closes his eyes, taking a deep breath. Let me go, please, sir. I really need to go home. Please? Please, let me go home. You won't go anywhere alone. I need to go home, Mr. Kim. I beg you, I need to go home, he cries, breathing heavily. Please? Please, sir, let me go. Jungkook cries harder as he struggles to reach the door. I need to go home. I need to, Jungkook. Taehyung growls, turning him around sharply, and shakes his shoulders, looking into naive doe eyes filled with horror. I said you wouldn't go anywhere alone in this condition. I don't know what happened there, and you don't tell me anything, but if you're so eager to go home, okay, let it be, Jungkook whispers, sobbing, frozen in fear. Will you let me go? No, the man shakes his head. I say that if you need to go home, then you will go home. But with me, Jungkook's heart starts beating faster as the meaning of what he heard hits him. No, he cries, has only to imagine how Mr. Kim sees a corpse left by the fault of Jungkook's hands. Oh Lord! Why is this happening to him? No, sir, please don't, Jungkook cries as he clutches at the fabric of the man's turtleneck and looks up at Taehyung's confused face with pleading eyes. Kim had never seen the boy in such a state before. Please, don't come with me. I'll do anything, sir, please, just don't come with me. Taehyung shakes his head, cupping his face in his hands, and forces Jungkook to look at him. Jungkook, baby, stop, he says, surprisingly soft. Look at me, okay? Take a breath. Come on, baby boy, take a breath for me, the boy whimpers, taking a ragged breath, and Taehyung nods. That's it, and another one. Come on, baby boy, take a deep breath. You need to stop crying, please, Jungkook sobs, swallowing back the tears. Please let me go home, sir. Taehyung closes his eyes, stroking Jungkook's shoulders gently, and pulls Jungkook towards him. He strokes his back, running his hand through the hard fabric of the jacket, and brushes his soft and slightly tangled hair. It's all right, hush, the man whispers. Whatever happens out there, you know that I will protect you, right? Jungkook whimpers again instead of answering, and burying his face in the man's chest. But you have to trust me, baby. I know you don't want to, but you need to try so that I can help you. Okay? Taehyung tilts his head, trying to look into his face, but Jungkook just keeps on crying into the fabric of his black turtleneck. Baby, the man's hand softly touches his chin, wordlessly asking Jungkook to look up. Do you think you could try trusting me for once? Jungkook blinks, a few more tears driving down his cheeks, and nods hesitantly, closing his eyes. Taehyung exhales with a measure of relief. Well, that's one less problem. Let's go. Come on, your things are already in the car, Taehyung whispers soothingly, wiping away his tears again, and takes a handkerchief from his pocket. Take this and wipe your face. Jungkook accepts the soft cloth gratefully, drying his face immediately, and in shame at the arrangement, doesn't even look up when Taehyung moves away. The man, leaving Jungkook just for a moment, goes to his desk to pick up his coat from the back of the chair. His head is spinning. Why does this boy's tears have such an effect on him? As soon as he noticed the beatings on his face, he already wanted to tear out the hands of the one who left it. He had only to see tears and fear in the young doe eyes. And Taehyung himself is ready to destroy anyone who dared to do this to Jungkook. Damn it! He hadn't felt this way in a very long time. Let's go. Trying to sound calm, the man touches Jungkook's waist and opens the door for both of them. I'll go with you. As the man's black car pulls up in front of the crumbling apartment building, Taehyung leans over slightly, staring at the place from the car window with obvious disgust on his face. Are you sure it's the right place, he asks, as if there's still a chance Jungkook doesn't live here. I was following the nerve, sir, J-Hope says from the driver's seat. This is the address that Mr. Jian gave. Jungkook blushes when he hears this unusual and so alien Mr. Jian. Even weirder. No one has ever addressed him with the least bit of respect. And now, even if it's just Mr. Kim bodyguard who doesn't know his last name, or Jungkook should know he does, he refers to him like that. Jungkook turns to the boy, looking up from the window, and Jungkook shrinks under his gaze again. Is it the right place? The man asks again with a hint of hope. Yes, sir. I live here, Kim sighs. Well, he nods, playing with his cheekbones. Let's go then. The man opens the door, climbing out of the car, and offers Jungkook his hand. The boy looks at it for a fraction of a second, frowning in doubt, but then he still accepts the help, jumping onto the asphalt. His Converse slush right into the melted snow on the side of the road, and Jungkook frowns in annoyance as he feels cold wetness seep through the thin fabric to his bare feet. His toes are already cold, and Jungkook is now 100% sure that he will definitely come down with the cold. Are you coming with me? He cocks an eyebrow, timidly clarifying. Taehyung rolls his eyes, sighing noisily, and says nothing. Jungkook clicks his tongue. Okay. But don't say anything and stay out of this. Okay. The boy stands right in front of him, hands on his. He gets no answer again. Did you hear me, Mr. Kim? You stay away of this. I don't know why you want to come with me, but don't you dare stick your nose into it. It's none of your business. Taehyung looks at him with a silent and impassive look. Answer me, Jungkook cries too nervously, suddenly slapping him on the shoulder covered with a black woolen coat. Taehyung's eyebrows rise in surprise at the unexpected gesture, and the boy jumps back in fright, covering his mouth with his hand. I didn't mean to, sir. It's kind of happened itself. I'm sorry. Taehyung takes another deep breath, shaking his head, and they're lost in eye contact for a few seconds before the man takes a step towards Jungkook. I'm not going there to stare at you getting hysterical again, but to fix what happened. I don't think there's anything you can do to fix the fact that I'm a murderer now, Jungkook thinks. And he bites his tongue as anxiety for what he's done starts to itch somewhere in his solar plexus. God, wouldn't he harm Mr. Kim by bringing him to the scene of his crime? Will this make his boss an accomplice? Because Jungkook doesn't seem to want to go to jail with him. No, absolutely not, Mr. Kim. He suddenly calls uncertainly. Yes, do you have a lawyer, and do I need a lawyer? Taehyung lets out a chuckle at the overly naive question. Jungkook is really not sure if he has legal protection, is he? Just answer, please, he asks with a little more embarrassment, lowering his gaze and examining his wet shoes. Taehyung takes a few steps towards him, carefully smoothing the boy's bangs that have fallen over his face. Jungkook, he breathes out, pronouncing his name too softly, and leans into Jungkook's ear. My wife has a whole network of law firms. There will definitely be a lawyer there. You don't have to worry. Jungkook bites his lip, wondering, could his boss ask Mrs. Kim if she could have saved Jungkook from jail? So are we going or not? The man speaks again, pulling Jungkook out of his thoughts, and the boy winces, nodding immediately. Please, just try not to jump in unnecessarily, okay? I can handle everything myself. Yes, yes, whatever you say. Taehyung agrees, and Jungkook takes a deep breath, adjusting the backpack he took from the man's car on his shoulder. He's still angry that Mr. Kim ordered it to be taken there without even asking, and hesitantly walks towards the entrance. Follow me, Jungkook mutters reluctantly, inviting Taehyung, who, with a grunt, puts his hands in his trousers pockets and slowly follows, looking around with barely veiled disgust. The bodyguard stays in the car waiting. Well, Taehyung just hopes they don't need his input. So, the man begins, following Jungkook up the stairs to the third floor and trying not to inhale too deeply. It's a disgusting smell in the stairwell. You live here, he says, either asking or asserting. Oh, you don't like something? Jungkook turns to him over his shoulder with a quick glance. So let me remind that no one asked you to be here, he adds offendedly, and then turns his head away again, continuing to look at his feet. He just wished the moments as they walk up the stairs could stretch on forever, just to never go back into his apartment. Yes, I don't like it, Taehyung agrees. And even more, I don't like that you have to live here. Well, not everyone can be jaded by Becau, the boy mutters under his breath, but in the silence of the stairwell this does not escape Taehyung. He lets out a chuckle. And if you agreed to my offer to have some money, you could move to a better place, he casually reminds. Jungkook wants to snarl, but in his state it's more like the snort of a beaten kitten. I can still push you down the stairs, he snaps, sliding down the flight of stairs to the next staircase. So you better keep your thoughts to yourself, sir. I would like to see how you will make an effort to push me, the man grins. Jungkook sighs, finally stopping in front of the door. He waits for Mr. Kim to come up behind him a few seconds later. The man's gaze travels up the stairwell before landing on an old door with a cracked number on it. Here, yup, and what are we waiting for then? I'm trying to get myself together. Since when do you need to do that to enter your apartment? You promised to be quiet. Jungkook shoots him an angry look. So shut up, please. Taehyung turns his head away in a revealing way, continuing to look around, only mumbling there was no such promise under his breath. Jungkook takes the keys from his backpack pocket, inserting them into the lock, and takes a deep breath when they both hear the mechanism go off. Jungkook closes his eyes. Apparently, this is his last moment before he will be forced to admit that he killed a man. Mr. Kim, he suddenly calls out when he is already holding on to the handle. Taehyung turns his head back to him with the shadow of a relaxed smile. What? You want to apologize in advance for the mess or something? Don't you worry, in a hole like this, I'd hardly be surprised. You are an asshole, sir. Jungkook snorts resentfully, but then a heavy lump in his throat reminds him that he is on the verge of a moment when he will forever be forced to admit that he is a murderer. I just wanted to say, I hope you don't get hurt for messing with me. That's enough already, Taehyung sighs. What do I have to see there in order to hurt myself in any way? Are you hiding corpses there or what? He chuckles. But when the boy's face turns white in a matter of seconds, something twists in his stomach. Jungkook arches an eyebrow suggestively. But Jungkook, swallowing, breaks eye contact and creaks open the door anyway. He